Governors from across the country in D.C. today for the winter meeting of the National Governors Association. On the agenda for state leaders today, education and border security. What are governors hoping to achieve this weekend? Let's ask West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey, who joins me now. Governor, thank you so much for being here. Before we get to that, I just want to ask you about the floods in West Virginia. I know it has killed at least 3 folks. It's an emergency situation. What can you tell us, and are you getting the help you need from the federal government?
Well, we've been speaking with the federal government, and I want to applaud the efforts, all the folks on the ground, the local emergency management folks, the first responders, all the people, the volunteer efforts in West Virginia, the state response, the Guard, and we've been working very closely with FEMA and folks at the federal level. So I'm very hopeful that we'll be getting some approvals coming very, very soon, but it's been a work together with local, state, federal, and I think we're going to have some good things to report. But some tough challenges for our people. Many people know that this part of the country was hit pretty hard. Some of our counties in the South really have a road to recovery in front of them, but our state's going to stand strong with them and make sure we help the folks in need.
Today at the conference with the governors, you guys are going to be talking about border security and education. What are you hoping to achieve today?
Well, a couple things. First, we've been meeting with folks from the administration and emphasizing the importance of providing governors and states with more flexibility in terms of how they're administering their programs. That's particularly relevant with respect to education, where a state like West Virginia, which really believes in school choice, and we have one of the broadest school choice programs in the country, we have an opportunity to get rid of all the nasty bureaucracy and the overregulation that doesn't help teach our kids, and we get to empower kids and families. So I know a number of my colleagues are talking about that, asking for that additional flexibility. We're also talking about how we can continue to help President Trump and partner up with the federal government in terms of stopping what was happening on the border. We had Biden border disorder for a long stretch, and now, within just a short period of time, the Trump administration is attacking the problem, working with the states. We've actually been partnering with them and ICE to make sure that those people that came in illegally, that we're working with them to get them out of the country, because we don't need that. We need our communities safe, and I think this Trump administration is doing a very good job on that.
Governor, President Trump hosted you and your colleagues yesterday, where he had this heated exchange with Maine Governor Janet Mills over his executive order on transgender athletes. Let's watch.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine?
Well, I'm here.
Are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
Yeah, see you in court. The feds have launched an investigation into the Maine Education Department as of the last 24 hours. You were in that room, Governor.
Yeah.
Give us your take on that.
Well, I think what you're seeing is what helped President Trump get elected. President Trump is authentic, and he's going to say the same thing in a room filled with governors, Republican and Democrats, that he's going to say in a room full of other people. And I think that's great. The reality is that for far too long, those last 4 years, you had President Biden trying to turn Title IX on its head and force these school districts and these states to do things that were completely the opposite of what Title IX was meant to do. So I think President Trump is right. We should not be federally funding a lot of these schools where you get to have all of these entities that are trying to have men play sports with women, men participating in areas, locker rooms, changing rooms. This is a completely absurd position that a lot of us have been fighting for a long time. And I think people are going to just applaud President Trump's common sense approach to Title IX and the relationship with the states.
Well, I know it's a topic that you're extremely interested in. You were in the room when President Trump signed that executive order banning transgender athletes in on women's teams. So West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey, thank you so much for your time, and our thoughts and prayers are with your folks with this flooding.
Thank you so much.